Hello guys, so welcome back to another session of learning Unity with me. Where we last left off, I believe we were messing with the tags, right? So we got these unbreakable blocks and then we have these breakable blocks, and our game is now able to tell the difference between the two so that it knows not to break these blocks but only these types of blocks. So then it should bounce from there. I think we should play the sound even if it's an unbreakable block, because it just sounds off. I mean, you can hear it. Actually, no, you can't actually for now. I forgot to turn off the volume again. I'm going to do that now. I think it's in the ball, because it's generating the sound from the ball. So we gotta go to the on collision, breakable. Let's see. You just copy this, paste it here, and then put unbreakable. So at least it plays that sound when it bounces off these. And I'm just gonna allow it again because I don't want to record the Udemy tutorial because I think that'd be like copyright and stuff. I think it'll be fine if I just showed the video, considering, you know, I don't think anyone would benefit just from looking at the video. Because he does say some useful things, and yeah. Alright, cool. And yeah, basically we didn't really do much, but I did learn quite a bit. I think that's what matters more. So we learned about like the different tags that we can make. We should do them in the blocks, and then we could isolate the objects by comparing their tag value, which is just a string object essentially. And yeah, so let's continue. And I remember it's like tags are used to tell our game what is and what isn't, so that, or a better way of saying it might be differentiating the types of objects that the game has, so it knows what to do with them when a certain logic is performed. So kind of like if you have an enemy and then we have the user, we can interact with the enemy like depending on what the user does or something like that. Alright, anyways, let's just continue. This is the same video, I think, yeah, using tags. So the next thing we're going to do is block damage levels. I'm going to close the volume, and yeah, alright, cool. Alright, so this is our challenge. We gotta make sure that the block only gets destroyed after a certain amount of hits. So that seems pretty easy. Like, we just need to wrap this method call with an if statement. So we can say if times hit equals the max hits, then we can destroy the block. Wait, what? Maybe full screen it. So actually, I don't think we need to comment this, because I think by itself it makes sense. If the times hit is the max amount of hits, then we just destroy the block. Alright, so we increment it after getting hit, and just compare it. I guess I'd like to test it out. So it compiles. Alright. Oh wait, we didn't set the values for it. So we got to go to prefab block, right? You gotta remember prefab block. So we got our block script and max amount of hits. Let's say we want 2, and then we'll have this loaded up. Oh right, we need to. Oh, that's kind of a little bit annoying, isn't it? Because you have to hit them twice. Wow. I imagine if I were to make a level, I wouldn't make all of them you have to hit twice, but maybe like a few of them. Because yeah, I mean, like, look at that, no blocks are destroyed. Alright, I guess we got the idea. Alright, let's go back. So he's just thinking ahead. You know, we might have some features where the ball will do ×2 damage or something, and then if it hits it twice, the times hit value will be 4, and then if it's, let's say our max hits was 3, then it wouldn't destroy the block, because while 4 is greater than 3, 4 does not equal to 3, so then it wouldn't destroy it. But by making it greater than equal, it kind of prevents the idea of that happening. So like, if we deal more damage than the health, essentially, like imagine like let's say an enemy only has 100 HP and you do 110 damage, we want it to want the enemy to die. So essentially that's the logic for this one too. Yeah, I guess that's it. He seems to be modularizing like the code a lot, which is pretty good, I guess. I'm not sure, like I don't have too much experience in that, but I can see the benefit of doing it. Like we can just always mess with one method without affecting the others, which is pretty good. I want to start like thinking like this too, actually. So the reason is because he doesn't like nested if statements, and it looks a lot neater like this. So we handle the hit, handles hit, handle hit, handle hit, handle hits. Let me just check it out. Still works. Oh, he kind of merged them together. I think for me, I just have them separate just in case. I guess if I want to only like do something with the unbreakable blocks, or do something with the breakable blocks, right? I think I'm just gonna leave it like this because I think I like it better like this. It just looks nicer. Oh, that was it. Damage affordance. Damage affordance. Whoa. So he's saying basically, even though we have a max hit, like having no indication of that makes it feel less intuitive, or less, or I'd say the immersion is reduced when there's no indicator that the number of like like a block requires more than one hit. So if I were to hit one, I'd be like, wait a minute, why didn't it break? But by including like some sort of appearance change, like the one he showed in the beginning of this video, it really helps with the immersion of the game. I think that's what he just wanted to say. I think I have that. Let me double check. Got sprites. Yep, I do. Alright, so this value here for the block, let me just remove this. Do serialize field sprite block states. Block sprite states. So let me try to guess what we're gonna do, because that's the way I want to do it. So essentially what they want is else if the block isn't destroyed yet, then we do want to damage the block even further. So we're gonna show, it's gonna be called show next hit sprite, which doesn't exist because it's a it's our own defined method. So it's going to be called private void show next hit sprite. And right, I think we would need to increment a value. I don't know if we're gonna, because what I'm thinking right now is using times hit as an indicator, right? Then I worry that, you know, what when this value goes to 4, but we only have, you know, 3 sprites, which means that we would be accessing out of bounds of the array, and yeah, that might cause some issues. So I'm thinking of just doing my own like count. Like, it has to be a global though. It would be kind of like, for example, say global variables, or I wouldn't want to call them, since all of these are technically global variables. How about so, you know, I'll just put a cache reference. I think that's where it belongs, cache reference. So we're gonna get a private int block sprites states index equals 0. So it starts off at 0, but then if if blocks sprite states index is less than the blocks sprites states dot length. I don't know if it's a property or a method. Let me just double check. Wait, no, it's looking for the method. I'm looking for the method. Oh, is this one? Or the documentation rather. Oh, it's over here actually. So we have properties. Yeah, it's a property, but it's still capitalized, huh? Interesting. Usually I thought properties were like lowercase. Well, that's fine. So we don't need this parentheses. So we're just checking if it's less than. Then block sprites index plus plus, and then we're going to and then just, I don't know how to do it right now, but set the block sprite to the index, I guess. Because right now, we look at the block. We look at sprite source. Oh, here it is. So yeah, we would need to select the sprite because first of all, let's wait, did it compile? Did it compile? It looks like it did. It's telling me an error. What? Line 49. Oh. So then max hit time. I'm gonna move time. Actually, wait, no. Wait, why isn't it serialized field? What? Serialized field sprite. Line 54. Block. Oh, here it is. So then we're gonna go to project, go to sprites, drop this, and then drop that. And then I wonder how to set sprite. SpriteRenderer sprite. So the sprite to render. The SpriteRenderer component will render the assigned sprite. Wow. The rendered sprite can be changed by specifying different sprite in the sprite variable. So we have a sprites sprite version. So sprite equals sprites. So we need SpriteRenderer. Is that like a separate object? No, it's part of it. It's part of the Unity engine user space or namespace. So it seems like this is where it gets updated. We would create a reference to the renderer, and then the sprite renders of sprite, I guess, refers to the actual one. Sprite game object, get component, the spirit render. This is a spirit render, I think. Not spirit, sprite. Yeah, sprite renderer. So yeah, I think this is the sprite renderer. Alright, so then, yeah, I guess that's what we do. We need to create a reference to the... Can I drag and drop it? Oh, I can actually drag and drop it. Alright. So then we can also serialize that too. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but I just want to like figure out a way to get my mind thinking of like a solution that I guess I can call my own, since I'm kind of thinking about it. And then compare it to his and then see where I faulted. Let me see. So we're gonna drag and drop the sprite renderer. Sprite, call it SpriteRenderer. Let it compile. So we should get another. Oh, semicolon. Wait, what? Semicolon. It says line 58. 58. All right. So now we should have it. Cool. So now it has sprite render. Where is it? Sprite R. We just drag and drop. Oh, we can't do that. I guess we just have to code it then. Alright, that's fine. We don't need to serialize this field. We can actually, not this one, but this one. And then in our start, we do the same thing as this line right here on top. So sprite R equals find object of type sprite renderer. It should return, at least that's what I think it does, right? Oh, get component. Never mind. Yeah, because I was thinking, wait a minute, actually, wouldn't it be searching for anything rather than, because I want this specific sprite render, so we have to do reference to the game object and then get component. And our component of our interest is the sprite renderer, and yeah, that's what we want. Component. And then in our sprites that we made an index, we can now do sprite R dot sprite, because that's the property. Let me actually look at the documents for that. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this and then compare my answer and then end the video. SpriteRenderer Unity, because I realize it's already past 30 minutes, but for now it should be fine. So those are the properties. Wait, actually, let me look at the sprite property. The sprite to render. So we do use that. Alright, cool. So then sprite will be set to the block sprites states and block sprite states index. There we go. And I think that should work. Because then if it gets hit and then realize that it's not destroyed yet, then it shows the next sprite. We will have to make it to 3, I guess. The prefab. Oh no, this is actually, it's stuck here. The brickle block. It says we got an error in line 59. 59. Wait, what? Invalid expression. Oh, it's gone. Alright. So no compiler issues, which is a nice sign, but we'll see. We're gonna make each of them breakable by setting a 3 value. I mean, that works, but why? Oh, I know why. I forgot to set the actual sprite. So now it looks kind of funny. Alright, to fix that, it should be pretty simple. We go to project, we go to our sprites, and then we'll look at here, we set it to 128 pixels per unit, and then we're just gonna do the same thing. 128, apply, tight center. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to review that because I forgot everything, like how to calculate that stuff. Alright, so then not all of them should be the same size, so that it should be fine. There it is. Now that looks way better. Oh yeah, that feels way better actually. Because before it wasn't showing any indication and it just felt very off. But yeah, this one, having that indicator really does help the game feel better. Wow, visuals can really help. Like, I really underestimate the visual effects in terms of how it works. Oh, do this. Alright. What? Alright, well, it works. So let's see how he did it. So the way I did it is well, that's what he did. I created an index, or like a count, I guess. I just didn't know how to name it. That's one thing I gotta get better at, naming things. But this index will essentially help us move through the sprite array by moving it after every hit. And then we have the SpriteRenderer, which is needed so that we can render the new sprite after the change, after getting hit. So we know, so that the block changes sprites after getting hit. And basically, yeah, that was it. I had to learn a little bit about the sprite rendering, but right now I know it's good for, like, if I want to change a sprite or something. And yeah, so let's see how he does it. It's gonna be, oh, why is it that long? Actually, I guess I'll have to figure out next time, because that is pretty long, 11 minutes. I don't want to skip it. For now, I guess I'll just see it next time or tomorrow and then compare mine tomorrow. Alright, so I'm gonna end this video now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.